Today's story is a wake-up call for every Muslim out there. In a shocking act of defiance, a young Muslim woman in Iran publicly removed her hijab, disregarding her country's religious laws and ignoring the sacred values of Islam. Was she forced into wearing it? Not at all. In Islam, hijab is a shield, an honor given to women to preserve their dignity and protect their respect. Yet this woman went to unprecedented lengths to challenge this law, shedding her hijab and mocking Iran's regulations in front of her entire university. But perhaps she forgot. This isn't just a rule of the Islamic Republic. It's a command from Allah Himself, meant to safeguard and honor women. Little did she know, her actions would bring about a severe consequence, an unimaginable fate that would leave her trembling in agony, yearning for forgiveness. Yes, friends, this young woman paid the price, and the punishment she faced is a lesson for all. How did her life take such a dark turn? And was she truly from a Muslim family, or someone with a different faith? Before we reveal the shocking details, be sure to subscribe to Heartbeats for Allah to stay updated. Now let's begin this eye-opening story. Friends, today's video is a story that resonates deeply with every Muslim. It's about a young Muslim woman in Iran who boldly defied modesty laws, going so far as to remove her hijab in a public place. We know that Islam doesn't impose hijab by force. The command for hijab is a means of preserving a woman's dignity and honor. Covering the face, whether obligatory or recommended, is a matter of debate, but the purpose behind it is clear. Yet this young woman ignored all these values and in a moment of rebellion, took a step that brought her a painful, tragic fate. At an Islamic university in Iran, in front of thousands of students, she removed her hijab, mocking both the university's code and Iran's laws. Walking around campus without her head covered, she seemed almost oblivious to the sacredness of hijab and the values it represents. But perhaps she forgot. The hijab isn't just a rule from a governing body, it's an honor and protection given by Allah Himself. In defying these boundaries, she soon met with consequences that would serve as a powerful warning to many. Friends, this woman paid a heavy price, and today we'll uncover her story. Who was this woman? Did she come from a Muslim family, or was her background different? We'll reveal all the details shortly. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Iran, an Islamic republic, enforces a strict dress code for public modesty. When a woman steps outside, she's expected to wear loose-fitting clothing and cover her hair to avoid attracting unwanted attention. These laws extend to universities, where hijab is mandatory for all female students. But this young woman, whose identity remains unknown, ignored these rules since joining the university. She wore Western clothes, including jeans and a top, and often disregarded the modest dress code. On her first day, she was given a shawl and reminded of the dress code. All female students here must observe hijab. It's a rule for everyone, she was told. Understanding that her education depended on compliance, she accepted the shawl that day. But once she stepped inside the classroom, she reverted to her original attire. The professor, noticing her disregard, remarked, "Look around at your classmates. Every woman here respects the hijab and the values of this institution." Most of the girls wore black or white shawls. Some even covered their faces. But this girl, with her hair down and in jeans, stood out. Instead of respecting the professor's advice, she replied angrily, "You're paid to teach, not to control me. Don't impose your beliefs on me." Her defiance angered the professor, who asked her to leave the classroom. Yet instead of feeling ashamed, she grew bolder. The university issued her several warnings, and even her classmates urged her to follow the rules. "Remember what happened to the girls who broke the dress code?" they told her. "Those who defied it were handed over to the police and barred from continuing their education." But she simply responded, "You all live in fear, but I don't. I refuse to cover myself. I'll dress however I please." Finally, the university administration gave her an ultimatum: follow the rules or face expulsion and police involvement. But instead of complying, she took her rebellion to the next level. Outside the university, in front of students and faculty, she began removing her clothing, layer by layer, on the campus steps. It felt like a nightmare. No one could believe what they were witnessing. In a university where all women uphold modesty, she pushed every boundary, sitting on the steps in her undergarments, completely unashamed. She expected people to support her, to record her protest, to cheer her on, but instead, everyone turned away. Realizing she was being ignored, she began walking through the crowd, trying to get attention, but people continued to avert their gaze. Unfazed, she started chanting slogans, recording herself on her phone, and even barged into classrooms saying to the hijabi girls, "Look at you all, weak, helpless, afraid to raise your voices. Be brave like me, I'm here to free you." The professor, now visibly angry, told her, "What is this behavior? Leave immediately." Security was called, but she refused to stop, yelling, "I want to be free. I refuse to cover myself." Her defiant voice echoed through the halls as she challenged everyone around her. She then took her protest to the streets of Tehran, attracting the attention of bystanders. People whispered prayers, shocked by her actions. This behavior was unheard of in Iran, a country known for its modest, respectful women. But who was she really, and where did she come from? Investigators later discovered that her family had converted to Islam from Christianity. Though they accepted Islam, it appeared she never fully embraced the values of her new faith. The police were quickly alerted as her actions posed a threat to public order and morality. For 3 hours, she roamed the university and Tehran's streets, making her defiant stance known. After that, she vanished. Authorities issued a public alert, urging people to report any sightings of her. 2 days passed without any news. Then reports began to surface. After returning home, she had apparently been reprimanded by her family. That night, a strange illness struck her. She felt a sensation as if sharp needles were piercing her skin from the inside. She scratched and clawed at herself in agony, her screams echoing through the house. The pain intensified, and she was unable to stop herself from tearing at her skin. Her family, horrified, watched helplessly as she screamed, calling for help. She continued scratching until her skin began to bleed. In her agony, she fled from her home, screaming, "Help! The scorpions are biting me! Take them away!" Blood streamed from her wounds as she scratched and clawed, desperate to rid herself of an imaginary torment. Some who saw her recognized her as the girl who had defiantly mocked hijab only days before, now suffering an unimaginable fate. Doctors were called, but by the time they arrived, she had passed away. Her body bore the marks of her own struggle, and it's said that even her bones were visible through her scratched skin. A horrifying sight for anyone who saw her. Her mother, upon seeing her daughter's condition, fainted in shock. The official report claimed she was mentally ill, which explained her behavior. But others insisted that she knew exactly what she was doing. Many believed she was one of those who tried to shape Allah's commands to fit her own desires, and that in doing so, she faced an unfortunate consequence. In the comments beneath the viral video of this incident, viewers from around the world expressed their shock and sadness. Some wrote, "May Allah protect us from such consequences," while others said, "Let this be a reminder for all who try to alter Allah's commands." The video sparked discussions about the importance of upholding Islamic values, not as a forced command, but as a sign of respect for one's faith. This incident, though tragic, serves as a reminder of the power of Allah's commands and the consequences of defying them. While every person has free will, it's essential to remember the wisdom and protection behind Islamic guidance. Friends, may Allah protect us all and keep us on the righteous path. May He open the hearts of those who have strayed and fill them with light and faith. Ameen Ya Rabb al-Alameen.